Hi everyone. I want to apologize in advance if you can hear the mowers and leaf blowers. I'm recording this in the morning at the school and they're doing the yard outside, so sorry if that's some background noise. I just wanted to briefly go over the test that we took for all of quarter one material. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to go over this blank version of the test and talk about the correct answers. And what you need to do if you want to improve your grade is you're going to fill this out. Now, this is going to be as an assignment, as an ungraded assignment on Schoology, so it should pop up for you. But I also mention it in the weekly updates, so if it doesn't pop up for some reason because it's in that ungraded category, you can go and find this. It's called Test Correction Zoology Quarter 1 Test. So what you're going to do is if you got a question wrong and you want to make it up, what you're going to have to do on here is going to open up a new document for you. So you have to restate the question, first of all. And then you need to define what the right answer is. And not just telling me, like, oh, it's bacteria or whatever. I don't even know if that's the right answer. But not just telling me it's bacteria, you got to tell me why that's the correct answer, because you got it wrong for a reason. So I want you to describe why this answer is the correct one and the other one isn't. And I put here, restate the whole answer in detail. So even if you received on a short answer question, even if you received 4 out of 5 on this one and you want to get the full 5 points, you need to restate the question and then state the whole answer here in detail. So extra detail here, because this is an opportunity to receive full credit for that answer. Okay, you need to be very descriptive. So I try to make that super apparent in here. And then it's just blank, so you can put whatever number you want to make up, and then you're going to submit it, and then I'll regrade it and add it to on top of your test grade. Okay, so just to kind of briefly go over this, this question here, I'm asking you to list these taxa in the order of most specific at the top to most general. So most specific is the most zoomed in, so we're starting with species up at the top and then getting broader and broader to most general. So the answers here should be species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, kingdom. Okay. This next one, I'm asking you to list the 3 domains and distinguish between them. What are the defining features of each? How are we going to tell between the 3 domains? So what I'm looking for here is the first domain is bacteria, and distinguishing features are that they're prokaryotes, which means that they don't have a true nucleus, and that they're unicellular. A lot of you put information about the cell walls, and that's great, but I was just looking for those 2, prokaryote and unicellular. And then for archaea, it's the same thing, prokaryote and unicellular. The only difference between archaea is that they are super extremists. So they live in those extreme environments, remember? Like volcanic hot springs and hydrothermal vents and stuff like that. And then the third domain is eukaryotes, and this is everything that has a nucleus. Okay, so what we're studying in this class from now on is kingdom Animalia. All kingdom Animalia has a true nucleus. Same with the plant kingdom and with the fungi kingdom and all of our protists, remember? So those are those kingdoms that go underneath the eukaryote domain. This picture, or this question, interpret this cladogram. A lot of you got this wrong, and this is a learning lesson for me too. Like, I know what to stress next time. I didn't actually put this on any of your homework questions, so I kind of wanted to see how you guys would do. And I listed where you can find how to read this diagram. So what I'm asking you here is, of the characteristics listed in this cladogram, which do lizards and salamanders have in common? And a lot of you put this amniotic egg, and the reason it's not the amniotic egg is because, remember, anytime you have a fork like this, like something branching off, this means that this is an evolutionary change here. So everything below here doesn't have this derived characteristic that everything this way has. Okay, so what I'm looking for here is that the lizard has the amniotic egg, but the salamander doesn't, because it broke off before the amniotic egg developed. So this amniotic egg is a derived characteristic of a lizard, just like mammary glands, which mammary glands produce milk, right? Those are in wallabies, but not in lizards. Lizards don't produce milk. Okay, so what the answer that I'm looking for here is that salamanders and lizards, they don't share this amniotic egg, but they do share having 4 limbs. They have a backbone and they have a notochord. Okay, so those are the 3 things I'm looking for. And then if you put amniotic egg, I took off a point or 2. Or if you only put amniotic egg, then I marked it totally wrong. So yeah, that's what's going on here. So these, we're going to look a lot more into this once we jump into the different phylum of kingdom Animalia. But remember that these characteristics are the derived characteristics from everything here down, okay? So trouts of fish, they don't have 4 limbs, just like salamanders don't have amniotic eggs. Okay, so I hope that makes a little bit more sense. If it's still not making sense, review 19.2. It's all in there. Okay, and then to go over these multiple choice questions, most people got these right. So archaea are the members of, are the domain that are extremophiles, right? They live in hard habitats such as brine pools and volcanic hot springs. Which cell structure distinguishes domain eukarya from other organisms? This is the nucleus. Fossils are often found in sedimentary rock, right? Because that is the layers over time that are deposited as sediment, either from rivers or ocean, right? So we get those layers over time, and that's how we find our fossils. Or that's typically where we find our fossils, in this type of rock. The origin of the eukaryotic cell is explained by this endosymbiotic theory. Remember, we listened to that Cell Mates podcast on this, and we also had that reading over this endosymbiotic theory. Endosymbiotic meaning that there was 2 different types of cells, and that one ended up in one another and they live symbiotically. Remember, endo means inside, symbiotic means living together, they're both benefiting. And then over time, we think that this just developed. The mitochondria, what we now know as the mitochondria in the cell, this developed over time inside another cell. So that's how we think we got the eukaryotic cell. And then this is kind of like the same question as above. Prokaryotes are unlike all other organisms in that their cells lack nuclei. Okay, so this was kind of like, if you got this one right about the eukarya, you should have got this one right too. Okay, because prokaryotes still have organelles. Organelles is just the different things that are in cells. They still have cell walls, and then they lack nucleic acids. But the main thing is that they lack nuclei. Okay. And then moving on to the next page, we have which of these following statements is most accurate? And a lot of you kind of picked varying answers here. And the definition here is, the defining thing about protists is that we've changed our understanding of protists so many times. And the correct answer for this one is the classification of protists is a work in progress. Okay, because you can rule out all these other ones. We now think that there are many different kingdoms of protists, some that are more plant-like, like our algae, some that are more mushroom-like, fungi-like our slime molds, and then some that are more animal-like our protozoa, remember? So we have these like big categories of protists that are more similar to other things than they are to themselves, but we still lump them as protists. So protists are still a work in progress, but that's our current understanding of them. And then this one, why do we think that all modern plants, animals, and fungi can be traced back to the protist ancestors? What I was looking for here is actual pieces of evidence. So the evidence that we think that all plants, animals, and fungi originally evolved from protist ancestors is that protists appear in the fossil record before any members of the plant, animal, or fungi kingdoms. And then additionally, looking at the genomes, their DNA, we're beginning to identify likely ancestral lines among the protists. So those are the two big important pieces of information that I was looking for here in the evidence. Not just that, oh, we think that they're related, because that's what this question is asking you, is like, why do we think they're related? So what I'm really grading you for here is the why, okay? So make sure that you're including your the evidence, and go back to 21.3 and find that evidence in there. Which of the statements is false about fungi? Well, they're not all unicellular, so this is the correct answer. And then the last question here, summarize the role of fungi in maintaining homeostasis in a forest ecosystem. Now, this question also wasn't on your homework, but it is straight from the book, 21.4. What I was looking for here is that in the forest ecosystem, fungi help maintain ecological homeostasis. Homeostasis is like things like remaining stable, right? And they do this by two main things that I was looking for here. They break down dead organisms, they're decomposers, right? And they recycle elements and nutrients within an ecosystem. So they break down those organisms, they decompose stuff, and then that allows the nutrients like carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus to be cycled within the ecosystem. So that's what I was looking for here. I'm going to wrap this up. Remember to fill this out if you have anything that you want to get full credit on, and then submit it. And I need this done by the end of the day today on Monday. So I hope you're watching this video today. I'm going to go ahead and end this video because I'm nearing 12 minutes. So let me know if you have any questions about any of these test questions, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. All right, have a good day. Bye.